Rick, you've been on both sides of this Flyers-Penguins rivalry, just seeing everything that went down in the game last night, and you talked about the pack mentality. Just what does it mean to you as a coach to see your team get so fired up and wanting to protect each other like that throughout the whole game?
Yeah, no, I think it's for us it's good. I know them too. The rivalry is great. Like I love it. I think talking to people and stuff. It was fun. Like to see that. The rivalry come in. You miss it when both teams are, like you're in a kind of an influx, right? Rebuild and stuff like that. So, both teams are trying to climb the ladder again, and that's what happens when you're in the same state and you get that rivalry. So, yeah, I think it's great, the emotions of both teams.
When you have an emotional kind of game like last night, how important is it to enjoy it last night, but they'd have a good day of practice to the game tomorrow?
Well, that's what we talk about. That's the maturity of growing as a team is, you have an emotional game, win a game, and then, how do you practice the next day? I've always felt that the most successful teams the next day, you enjoy the win, and you want the players to be loose, but there's also a business like, and I saw the guys, I gave them credit. They practiced really well today. It was good. We only had 4 drills, and that's maturity. Sometimes you get teams where, they get a little bit comfortable, and then it's a sloppy practice, and then what happens, your next game's sloppy. So I think we're really guarded against that, and I can feel that the guys are trying to be even keel. I think that's really important. So that's a maturity thing for me.
We didn't see Samuel Ersson out there. Do you have any update on him?
Yeah, he warmed up. He tweaks. He was a little. It's a day-to-day thing, so we'll reevaluate tomorrow. I don't think it's major, but he just kind of tweaked something.
Do you like seeing Trevor get involved like the way he did? There was the end of the horn. He kind of maybe took a little bit of a late shot. They didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know what happened. I didn't even ask him what happened, or some things happen in a game, or somebody does something. So I don't know what happened. Yeah, I mean, you just got to be smart about it. Yeah, sure, I don't mind to get involved, but you also got to be smart.
You know this fan base a little bit, right? Like, do you think that can sort of endear a guy to them? When he's kind of getting under the skin of a team that the fans here can't stand the Penguins, right?
Yeah, well, the fans can't stand the Penguins, and they can't stand losing, and they can't stand like no effort, right? So, if you're giving effort, you're hopefully beating the Penguins. And you're being a little, you've been successful what you're doing. Results obviously want to win, but if they see you making progress, I think they'll back you. So I think, I think Trevor's endeared with the fan base because he's got some pizzazz to his game, but he also knows that he has to play a certain, a winning kind of brand. And I think you watch him; he's getting inside. He's got involved in the scrums. He's helping out his teammates. Yeah, I mean, fans are going to love that.
How would you assess Bobby Brink's game?
Bobby, a guy from camp. Like you could tell that he wants it. How do I say it? Like he wants more from himself, and he's played that way. He's the Carolina game. He was outstanding. I remember that game where he really took off, and then. Obviously, yesterday, be an impact player. He wants to be an impact player, and I told him today, like he's playing against the top team, the top lines, and I don't really see his size being a problem because he's quick, he's winning his battles, and that power play goal, he attacks, and then he goes right to the net and scores. He did that the other night too. Like that's doesn't matter how the size, it's really the attack mentality that he has.
He was always known as an offensive guy.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of critique from previous coaching staff about his defensive game.
Okay.
But it seems like his defensive game is pretty close to where his offensive game is. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think he's understanding the system. He's stopping in the areas that he's supposed to. He's understanding if he's the low guy where he's supposed to go. And obviously there's a work in progress with our team, but he's I think playing with Casey and Tyson, there's a chemistry thing though. It's almost like a natural thing where somebody does something and right away he knows where to go. Like sometimes chemistry of lines you'll see, it takes a while where a guy, I don't know where the guy was, he goes where I go, where they're almost like three guys know where each other are going, and that helps you defensively and offensively.
Oh, sorry.
Keep going.
Yeah. That's all right.
I was just with Bob. I mean, he's 5'8". He's a smaller guy out there, and he just seems to always not care. He's going against these like giants on defense, right? Like these 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys, and he plows through him kind of thing,
Yeah.
especially along the wall. Like, what's it like watching a guy maybe who's a little, shorter in stature, but he's just driving play like that, where he has no fear maybe going up against these guys?
Yeah, I think you look at players around the league, the Caulfields, Kaprizov, smaller guys in stature, but they play bigger. And their attributes is they're good with their body position. And Bobby's learned, or you're out quick, you either go in a corner and out quick a defenseman, or you go in there with your body position. Because if you go in there a bit, your body position is not there, you're not expecting something, then you're going to get probably out-muscled. And you got to use your brain. Those young guys, those little guys they use their brain. And the players I just mentioned, they're smart players. Like Bobby, you can tell he's a smart player. He knows how to get in and out of a pile. Like there'll be a big pile up. Somehow he gets to the puck and he gets out of there. So I think that's the stuff that he's getting really good at.
Going back to Rick, going back to Trevor for a second. With him, you mentioned that he's a high skill guy, and fair or not, there's maybe a perception around him going into the season, that he's more of a finesse player.
Yeah.
He gave an interview to ESPN at the start of the year where he said he doesn't want to be viewed as just a guy who's good at hockey. He wants to be viewed as a hockey player. I guess it's early, it's only 9 games in, but are you seeing a guy who wants to change that perception and prove it wrong?
Yeah, like I said, Trev's he's a great kid, and you can really be. He's an honest kid. Like, you can be honest with him. And we talked. I said at the start of training camp, I said, "Are you doing stuff for clicks on social media? Or are you doing stuff to win hockey?" And he wants to win hockey games. Like, everybody has this perception. He wants to be on social media, do the Michigan and all that stuff, which is fine. But I think if you watch his practices, for me, he's starting to really before he'd once fancy pucks on the 2-on-1s. Now you'll see he'll drive. Like the other day in practice, he had 4 shots that were unbelievable shots because he drove and he shot the way you're supposed to do it, instead of going down. It's more of a show, right? And I think he doesn't want to be that perception, and I think that's helping his game. That's what I think. He should be doing stuff for not clicks. He should be doing stuff for winning hockey, and that's what he wants. And I think there's a fallacy that he wants to be some social media guy, and which is good. It's good for us.
I saw you working with Matvei Mishka before practice. Looks like he was just trying to get off the shot quickly. How much do you enjoy being hands-on with the players, even before practice?
Yeah, no. It's for him. I think he loves shooting drills. He wants the puck a lot, and so I think it's important that we were just talking. We were just doing some power play middle stuff that he can really. But he's got a hell of a shot. He's quick he's got good hands. So, but. The good thing with these players that are elite at something, he's obviously got elite hands. He wants to keep working on it, and I think that's the key. So just kind of stay with him. He's going to score. We're not worried about it. He's getting his chances, and he's playing better every game.
When you're teaching players in terms of protecting the puck, getting possession, maintaining possession, particularly a smaller guy, like Brink. How important is it those guys? They might be highly skilled, but if they're not moving their feet, they're pretty easy to take off the puck a lot of times. So, how much of a point of emphasis and repetition is that to teach guys, keep your feet moving, and you have a lot better chance?
Huge. It's huge, and that's why you do a lot of reps in practice, and then the games. If you look at our game, other than the Winnipeg game, every game has been a 1-goal nail biter, overtime, or the Ottawa game. Still had 6-on-5. We still have a chance to tie. These are pressure situations, right? And there's going to be times when we're up a goal, 2 minutes left, puck comes around you on the wall, and you got to get that puck out or make a play out of there. The only way you're going to get those reps is live action or work on in practice, because it's hard to evaluate players when there's no pressure.
A little bit, but you have your first back-to-back coming up. Do you have a set policy on goaltending? Do you always split them, or is it circumstances of how they're playing?
Yeah, very rarely play. I mean, I don't even remember playing a goalie both back-to-back. So maybe, I can't remember. Very rarely you do that. Maybe early in the season you can get away with it, but I think you got to be careful of that. And it's also the workload too. The guy's got no work the night before. Do you consider it? But we have the luxury of 2 guys that they're playing well for us, and that's something we got to shore up too. I think back-to-back last year, these guys, we were 1-10-3, so that's a point of emphasis. Back-to-back games for this team.